Welcome, welcome, welcome. I just want to say thank you so much for making the time to join me today and really stepping away from working in your business and joining me is working on your business, where you get an advanced insight, maybe one move that's going to make a difference in how you move forward and raising the bar with how you work with your clients, as well as who you work with, plus growing revenues without feeling like a slave to your business. That is the sweet spot. Our topic today is how to make 2022 your best year ever, increasing your market share and raising your profit margin. I have a goal. If Martin Luther King would have said that, his speech would have fallen flat and not been as memorable. And there is a reason he chose the word dream instead of goals. And that's part of what I'm going to focus on today, is why just setting goals is not going to be the thing that's going to really take you to that dream firm that you have for yourself. If you are an accounting professional and you find that you actually are holding back from growing too quickly because growing more means working more complexities, more overwhelm, more stress, or possibly you meet with clients and they pick your brain and you're giving all of that high value information away for free because you don't know how to charge for it. Or possibly you are letting your clients take charge of your growth path and they come to you with requests within your field as well as out of your lane, and you just say yes to everything. If that is you, you are absolutely in the right place today. Steve, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Lauren, I'd love to. So as you can see by the last name, Lauren and I are related. We have been married for quite a while and working together for also quite a while. I am a therapist turned business coach, and I'm going to be your co-host today. I will be working the chat. And so if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat, and I'll be sure to get those over to Lauren. So at this point, Lauren, take it away.
Thank you. And a little bit about me is I am a sports psychologist turned business coach. What I have found is that there are many similarities between high-ranking athletes and growth-minded accounting professionals. But there are three differences. One is our uniforms are slightly different than athletes. Number two is we're aiming for different numbers than they are. And number three is athletes right from the get-go as peewees have someone on the outside that is mentoring, training them, coaching them, advising them to really hit their peak performance as quickly as possible, to speed up the learning curve. And as professionals, business owners, we love to help our clients, but asking for help is a little bit out of our comfort zone for many, many reasons. And because of that, we will absolutely be able to achieve what we want, but maybe it will be slower getting there. Or possibly that we never, ever clearly define what we want. And as a result of that, we end up with a practice that is uninspiring. It feels like a grind. Everything turns very, very vanilla. And you end up having your clients running your business and they run you instead of you running your business and telling your clients how to work best with you. Along with that, I have been named as one of the top 22 business coaches by HubSpot from 2018 to 2021. And that is my Amazon #1 bestseller, The Success Solution. What we're going to cover today is the #1 dream firm, unleashing your potential, and 3Xing your business. I will absolutely give you as much as I possibly can today. And during our short time together, I will show you an opportunity to be able to take what we're learning and actually make it happen and get it done, so that you're not just walking away with an idea that maybe you'll get to one day. We will actually have an opportunity to roll up our sleeves and do this together.
Well, Lauren, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to look at is the #1 dream firm secret. But before we do that, we have our first poll. So do you follow an agenda? I have daily to-do lists that keep me focused. Each month I set a new goal, or a client crisis can hijack my plan. So once again, do you follow an agenda, I have a daily to-do list that keeps me focused. Each month I set new goals, or I allow client crises to hijack my plans. And looks like we've already got our results, and the majority.
Not quite yet. We're still
No,
getting a couple people.
Still got them coming in.
Give it
Okay, great.
A little bit more time.
And this will be a good time to let you know, if you do have a question, please go ahead and put that into the chat. And I will be sure to get that question over to Lauren so that she can answer that while we are going.
Yep.
And looks
let's
like we're
go ahead.
pretty close.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll close down the poll in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so we have 70% has a daily to-do list. 10% are each month I have a new goal, and 20% is client crises can hijack my plans. So there we go with that. Excellent. So Lauren, what are the steps to increase income without working additional hours?
Well, just to let you know what the next step would be, if this is something that really appeals to you, is this is about the value formula. The value formula focuses on what is your firm's value? What is it that separates you from everybody else, where people are being attracted to you, wanting to work with you because they recognize the difference you're going to make for them. So connecting with your firm's value. And then the second part of it is looking at how to value price your services in order to stop trading dollars for hours, because your time is very, very valuable to you, but we tend to give it away too easily. We don't really fully value what we have to offer. And I believe that charging an hourly rate is actually creating a tug of war. It is unfair to you as well as to your clients. It is leaving money on the table. So let's look at how to be able to increase your income without you feeling like a slave to your business. And then the third part of what the value formula is enrolling high value clients, because if you say yes to everybody, you're going to have a range of low value to high value clients. Sometimes your largest paying client is going to be actually the biggest headache and the lowest value. And it feels uncomfortable making changes or having people not say yes to you if they're willing to pay your monthly fees. So I want you to be able to look at what do you need to do to enroll high value clients to raise the bar, because that is one of the elements of having a dream firm, is those clients who are loyal to you as opposed to being loyal to the lowest price that they can possibly pay and get as much out of you as possible. They end up being nightmares, headaches, and taking away your personal time. Anyway, if something like that interests you, just to let you know that November 10th and 11th, I will be doing a virtual strategic planning retreat. It's an annual retreat I've been doing for about the last 9 years or so. And there'll be more details on businesssuccesssolution.com/retreat if that interests you. Anyway, a little bit about where today's topics are coming from, and let's move on.
So Lauren, we have a timely topic for today, looking at 63%. We regularly speak to accounting professionals who want to grow their firm. So how do you plan to grow, and what's about the 63%?
Well, the 63% is based on research that Constant Contact did, and they have a wide range of people that are in their community. They have found that 63% of business owners, entrepreneurs, actually create a plan within a year or less. So when they're planning things out, their plan is about a year long, sometimes yet less, but about 63% actually create a plan. The rest of them, they're just kind of winging it.
So is there a difference between working in your firm as opposed to working on your firm?
There is a huge difference between working in versus working on your firm. When you are working in your firm, you are doing tasks today that will bring in money. And it is very, very short term. So what you do today will bring in money, hopefully sooner than later. And if you're a firm owner, maybe you get paid before you do the work. So I would actually love to know here if you actually carve out time to work on your business as opposed to just working in your business, and would love to know whether you've actually started doing that or not. But working in your business is the daily task. The things you do today will pay the bills tomorrow. Working on your business is more of the things that you are putting in place today that are strategic will grow your firm and bring to more revenue over time. So what you do today is future focused, and it will advance your firm in a very specific direction than if you don't do it and you just focus on the day-to-day things in front of you. Tanya says she carves out time, but if I'm busy, it is the first thing that goes. But Tanya, I actually give you a lot of credit because I know that you spend more time working on your business than most people do. And you're actually always in that learning mode. So really, really want to recognize that you're probably spending more time working on your business than most people are. And it's been making a difference for you.
Well, Lauren, growth is really often paired with goal setting. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I actually think that goals are not the best way to go. That is because goal setting, even though we hear about it, and when I ask people if they set goals, they tell me, well, I should, but I don't. And then they feel guilty about it, or maybe they feel some shame about the fact that they haven't done that yet, even though they are supposed to be doing that. But goals have inherent flaws. They are externally driven. So a lot of times you're focusing on something that might be actually outside of your control, or someone else is encouraging you to do it. A lot of times, if you are looking to get some money to be able to grow your firm, to be able to move forward, you're going to be asked to come up with a business plan before the bank goes ahead and gives you some money. So a lot of times that goal setting can be externally driven if you have a business plan. The other thing is that they are very, very static. It is a zero-sum game. Either you are working on it and you're doing great, or you're not and you are failing. So it's either you're succeeding or you're failing. There is no gray in between. And I don't know about you, but growing my business has probably more gray than it does black and white. And I would love to know what's been your experience also. I can plan all I want to. However, something messes it up. And a lot of times it has to do with other people. So that is something to think about. So first of all, they are externally driven. They are very static, zero-sum game. You're either on target or you are failing. And the third part is they are boring. Goals are just plain boring. Let's just say it. Let's get it out there. No more walking around the elephant in the room. And let's just also admit, if goals were really inspiring, then people would stick with their New Year's resolutions beyond 2 weeks. Lori was saying that she works on her business after October 15th deadline when she reviews the close of tax season, and she uses military after action report review format. I love the military after action part. That is actually an advanced move. Lane says, agreed, probably about the boring part, right, Lane? They also leave little space for intuition, responding to unexpected opportunities. Okay, so here we are. Oh, what I was going to say here about the SMART goals, especially if you love them, they're strategic, they're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're realistic, and they are time-based. Okay, if you are a business owner, there's nothing that is realistic about what you're doing. If you wanted realistic and the sure thing, you would go ahead and have stayed with your 9 to 5 working with somebody else. But we didn't take a realistic step to be a firm owner. This is not the realistic, logical way to go. This is because there's something beyond a goal. And just a little bit of backstory. SMART goals came about 1970 or so because of the economy at that point, and corporate America needed to do something to boost dividends for their shareholders. So they figured if they can get their employees who were just getting a paycheck, uninspired, to be able to do 3% more than what they were currently doing, that would make shareholders happy. But if you are that business owner, that firm owner, 3% is not that inspiring. It's too much of a sure thing, and we don't always go for the sure thing. That makes us complacent. So I'm going, and the timeline. I don't know about you, but a lot of times my timeline doesn't fit the one that I planned for, because once again, there's other people that I'm working with. There's things that happen that I didn't expect, and it can get messy at times. So once again, I'm just going to say, dump the SMART goals. They are not going to help you achieve what Martin Luther achieved with really changing the culture from the very, very essence, getting people to rally behind him, because he did not have a goal. He had a dream. And that is something I want you to think about as well. When I first met Karen, she was pretty burnt out. She was working a lot of hours in her business. She was also probably doing work that her staff could have done. She knew she was undercharging, and her clients were running her firm and running her instead of her running her firm and telling her clients how to work with her. Because of that, she was constantly stressed out, and she knew that she had some headache clients, but she knew that the revenue and didn't feel comfortable letting them go. That felt really, really risky. But as a result of that, it was taking a toll on her, and her income was stagnant. Her phone wasn't ringing, and things needed to change. So because of that, we started coming up with what was a strategy that would get her unleashed and moving forward. And what we looked at was really, who were her high value clients? What was she tolerating that was really holding her back and not being very efficient with how she was working with her firm? And also, she had to start saying no to some things that were outside of her lane. So by doing that, she was actually able to make an additional $14,000 in revenues in 60 days. And she once again got back her weekends. No more 7 days a week. She was back to 5 days a week. And just recently, she went ahead and purchased her dream home. Now, her dream home is taking an antique home and refinishing it so it no longer looks like it was built in the 1920s, but she's going to be really bringing it up to date so that it looks period, but it is going to be beautiful. And that is something that she's always wanted to do, and she has now done it. I think she closed on a house about 2 weeks ago. So think about what would getting back some of your personal life and bringing an additional $14,000 in under 60 days do for you as well as your firm.
Well, Lauren, we're going to be going on to our next portion, which is going to be unleashing your potential. But before we do that, we have our next poll question. And this is about your growth plan. What's your growth plan? It's organic according to client requests. I created a business plan when I first started. I review my business plan more than once per year, or every quarter I adjust my business plan. So once again, what's your growth plan? It's organic according to client requests. I created a business plan when I first started. I review my business plan more than once per year. Every quarter I adjust my business plan. And once again, if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat. I do have one question that came in. Why do we need a strategic plan?
Because it's like navigation if you go on a plane. If a plane does not put in its flight plan, then it might not get into the destination that you were originally boarding it for. So with a plane, actually about 80% of the time it is off course, and it is constantly course correcting because of wind shear, because of density, other things that have to do with weather that are beyond my knowledge, but it is constantly making little course corrections to eventually get you to your destination. So it knows the destination, and it might not know the exact route to get you there that it's going to take. It has an idea, but it is going to recalibrate to make sure that you are reaching your destination in the time frame that they're hoping to get there. And that is true for a strategic plan also, where if you define your destination and you have some clarity about where it is that you want to eventually end up, you're more likely to get there than if you allow your clients to define the destination for you. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll.
So what we have is it's organic according to the client request is 58%. I created a business plan is 8%. I review my business plan is 25%. And every quarter I adjust my business plan is 8%. So the high one here is it's organic. Nice.
No. We want to change that actually. Organic means that your clients are in charge of you instead of you being in charge of your firm.
Right. Absolutely. We want to change that one. So is there something better than a goal? I know we've talked a lot about, you've been talking a lot about SMART goals. What's better than a goal?
Well, I believe that instead of having a goal, which I said is a zero-sum game, it leaves no room for flexibility. As Lane was saying, it is not very inspiring. They are relatively boring and static. I really want you to come up with some type of strategic plan and vision. So I believe that the vision and the strategic plan go hand in hand. You have your vision, that is your destination, and then your strategic plan becomes your roadmap that helps you to get there. Similar to JFK deciding that he wanted to have the United States be the first to plant the flag on the moon. And that was because we were a war-torn nation at that point. The Soviets, the USSR, was actually beating us in the space race. He was not happy with that whatsoever. And he wanted to really get the whole nation to rally behind something that was going to be bigger than him. And in fact, it was bigger than his lifetime. So he set this 10-year plan of being the first to get people on the moon, to plant the flag. But a lot of what happened was based on vision because they didn't even have some of the necessary materials even invented yet to be able to accomplish this. And even when they did this, they knew that they would be able to possibly get the astronauts on the moon, but could they actually safely return them back home too? It was all based on a vision and a strategic plan as opposed to goal setting. And I want you to be the first to plant the flag on your moon, whatever that might be for you when you think about your dream firm.
Well, Lauren, you mentioned I have a dream speech, and you also talked about the first moon landing. How does this actually relate to a strategic plan?
Basically, what this is when you meet with your clients, so often you probably get to know them. That it's not transactional. You get to know some of them as a person and understand not just about their business, but you understand why they are in business, the difference that they want to make. Because as business owners, we make an impact on the community around us, whether it's just the impact on our family and maybe the people who are helping us directly in our business, or the impact on our clients and the people that are within our larger network. But what I want to say is the money is important, but so many business owners, they are not doing it just for the money. They're doing it because there is something behind the reason that they're in the business. I want you to connect with your story. What is it that makes you want to do what most people talk about, but they never do for themselves? You are the exceptional few. You are a risk taker, even if you don't see yourself as one. Owning your own business has risk, and people dream about it, but most people never do it. So what is your story? What's the meaning behind why you are doing it? And I want to let you know that the more personal it is, the better it is. I don't want it to be this big thing of, I want to change the world. That is great, and that might happen, but I want something closer to home. What is the difference for you? And this is an example of some of the things that actually motivate my clients. Is flexibility to be there for their family, freedom to travel and work from anywhere, funding your retirement, building a church for your church, and paying off your mom's mortgage as a retirement gift to her. And if you have something that motivates you and you know what it is, please go ahead and put that in the chat. I would love to see what is behind the reason that you're doing this. What is your why? And then I know Lori asked a question. In my experience, do burden clients change to more manageable clients when you restructure? Not always. So what I actually look at when we're looking at our strategic plan, where I'm looking to take accounting professionals with their firm is to actually realize they have that whole range of low value to high value clients and go ahead and grade them all, A, B, C, D, F. The ones who are Fs and Ds, either you did not communicate to them how to work best with you and how to be a good client, or it's just that they see you as a technician. They don't really value you. You are almost like an employee to them. And they are really just concerned about how much you're charging them each month as opposed to the difference that you can make for them. So the Ds and Fs, you might need to be able to let them go. They might not be coachable. The Cs, they're C, if you go ahead and grade them, the A, B, C, D, F, they are C clients that you want to have a conversation with. They might be coachable and adapt. They just didn't realize that they needed to do some things differently. And the A and B clients, those are the high value clients. They're not as price sensitive. They are your sweet spot. And if anybody else wants to answer what Lori was talking about with, can you actually take those headache clients and make them into dream clients? If you've had that experience, please go ahead and share with Lori what your experience is in the chat.
Well, what are some things to consider, Lauren, when creating our strategy?
Well, I'm talking about your dream firm. I want you to be able to have that dream, that vision of, I have a dream, that being your motto, and actually knowing what that dream is, of being that first one to plant a flag and do something that is really, really meaningful to you and is going to have this butterfly effect where it just goes ahead and touches other people in your network, your community. So I really want you to have that dream firm. It is absolutely possible. Even if right now you're people pleasing and you're letting your clients run your firm instead of you taking charge, we can fix that. But these are some of the things to think about as you're doing that. The very first thing is vision. Describe your dream firm. And once again, if you know what it is that inspires you to do this, please put that in the chat. I would love to see that. But when you're thinking about describing your dream firm, think about it being future focused. What is it that your dream firm looks like? What are some of the details, the day-to-day? What are the things that you're doing? Do you have a team? Don't you have a team? Who is it that you end up working for? What are the things that you're focused on? Do you have a niche or a specialty? And really get clarity about that. The other thing to look at when you are looking at that vision is, what are you able to do once you achieve that you are not able to do right now? And the third part of that vision is, what did you let go of? This is like the most important part here. If you're not writing things down, write this one down. What do you have to let go of in order to have that dream firm and reach your vision? Because a lot of times it's not about doing more. It's actually about doing less, tolerating less, letting go of things, reframing how you look at something, or maybe there's a value that's conflicting, that's getting in the way, and it's time to be able to reevaluate that and maybe modify for where you're going instead of where you've been. So think about that. It is future focused. And then number 2 is strategy. So now you have the big picture. We want to start to taper it down. So here's the strategy. The strategy is milestones. These are the different points along the route that you are going to hit that will let you know that you are moving forward. And with each and every milestone that you hit, it is absolutely worth celebrating. Because as business owners, we tend to always be looking back at what we haven't, let me do that again. As business owners, we're always looking forward to the horizon. And it's always in the distance, the horizon of what we haven't done yet, what still needs to be done. There's more and more and more. But you deserve to sometimes look back and see where you originally came from and where you are now, to recognize the accomplishments and the progress you've made and the difference you're making and how that's touching somebody else's life, which is probably the most important part. So look at that. And when you're looking at defining milestones, what you actually want to do with your vision is, I like having a 12-month vision. I have my big dream, But I actually am doing a 12-month strategic plan because I don't know what's going to be important to me in a year from now. 5 years is much too far out, but I can really shoot for a year and know that I can make an impact and hit that. So if you're going to do a 12-month strategic plan, which is part of what we do in the virtual strategic planning retreat next month, then you start 12 months out and you work backwards. Then you go to 9, 6, 3, and then you get a little bit more focused, maybe 2 months out, 1 month out, 4 weeks out, a week out, and really start to chunk it down. And then you need to eventually get to step 3, which is you stop thinking about it, you stop planning, you stop overthinking, researching, and you actually have to do it. This is where you start working on your business. Because if you start working your strategic plan today, you're going to be so much closer to your dream firm in a year from now than if you continue to just think about it or just write it down, but you never took action. So once again, you need those 3 steps: the vision, the strategy, the action, and it is absolutely part of what we roll up our sleeves and get done when we do the retreat together.
Well, Lauren, that's the really big picture, just like you were talking about. But I think it would be great to drill this down a little bit further. And let's go into talking about neuroscience.
Okay, neuroscience. I love neuroscience. It's how our brains work. It's something I really deeply dove into when I was working with athletes and sports psychology, because they would have the best equipment. They knew how to be able to achieve what it is that they wanted. They had the workout plan to be able to train for it. And it was the head that got in the way and threw them off when they were in the heat of the moment in a competition. And that is true for most of us. When we are in the heat of a moment, we are thrown off our game. We are no longer in the flow, in the zone. You don't have your mojo any longer, however you describe it. So think about when you are looking to take a road trip to your friend Sarah's house, who's in the next city. You've never been there before. You really don't know how to navigate it, and you put it into your GPS. Well, when you put her address into your GPS, you're putting in a very specific destination. You're putting in Sarah's address. And then the other thing is your GPS is going ahead and mapping out the whole route. You can actually go ahead and see it, whether you want the step-by-step directions printed out or whether you just want to see the image of the route on the map. And then what happens is you get in your car, you start driving, and your GPS tells you only the next thing you need to do, that you need to be able to make a right turn when you leave your driveway. And then after that, you might need to get on the highway, and you're on the highway for 10 miles. And then you're going to get off at a specific exit. And the GPS, all it's doing is giving you the next direction. It's not telling the whole thing at once. It's not overwhelming you. It's just giving you the next action you need to take, and you are looking for that. Mm-hmm. And this is exactly how our brains work. We have a reticular activating system in our brains, which is our inner GPS. And basically, when you define your vision and you get very, very clear about it, then you start seeing opportunities that help you to move forward and achieve that. Because when you get clear about the vision of what it is that you want for your dream firm, this is giving your brain the message of this is important to me, and it is needed for survival. Of course, our brains, they're wired for us to survive and do what is ever necessary to avoid getting eaten by a dinosaur or becoming lunch for some other wild animal in the jungle. So that's how our brains still work, even though we are so far removed from that. Anyway, plug in that final destination. You might come up with the whole map, which would be your strategic plan. And then once you do that, all you need to do is go ahead and focus on that next one action step. And when you set your strategic plan, you have your vision, just be very, very clear about what it is that is your destination. Not just that, oh, I would like 10 employees and 100 clients and to be able to do taxes. That is not specific enough. because you're not going to get exactly what you want. I want you to tell me what types of clients you want. Are they ideal clients who value you? They actually are responsive and get things to you on time. And when you send them a communication, they respond to it usually within 24 hours max. And when they have a meeting with you, they are meeting ready and they follow through. That is very, very specific. When you tell me that you want more money, what does that mean? Do you want to make an additional $20,000? Or do you want to make an additional $200,000 in your firm? Two very, very different ways of looking at it and things you need to do to be able to achieve that thing. And maybe it's not just about the revenues. Maybe what we really want to do is increase the value of a client so you're being more profit driven than just revenue driven, because you know you can increase revenues, but doesn't really mean that you're going to go ahead and equally increase your profits as well. So get very, very specific about what you want to do. And once again, this is what we start off with in the strategic planning retreat is right here. We are dialing in that big vision and getting even more clarity so you're more likely to achieve what it is that you want for yourself. With Bill, he does a lot of networking. He is out there in the community. He makes a big difference. He is a giver. And what happens was he was saying yes to a wide range of clients, which means that he was doing a lot of different things as far as accounting goes for his clients. But this spread him very thin as well as his staff, and it wasn't very efficient for him. What we did is we became more focused with his plan on who it is that he works best with, what it is that he does for them, and how to be able to communicate their value in a way that they recognize the value of how he can make a difference for them. Once he was able to really dial that in of who he wanted to work with, how to communicate it, and where they were going to be, so that was part of his bigger plan, then he was able to be more targeted in his network, and different people started coming to him. Different opportunities opened up for him. And as a result of that, in 30 days, he made an additional $10,000 in his business. And he is very focused in who he works with. The headache clients, he's not working with them any longer. He is working with people who really value him, and that it allowed him to really highlight the advisory part of what he brings to the table, not just the accounting part. So advisory services was something that he wanted to do. He didn't know how to build it in. We found a way. He's now working with clients, not just on the day-to-day accounting aspects, but he's also doing the future-focused advisory aspects also. So once again, think about that for you. If you were able to bring something into your firm that really made a difference for you, that was something you loved doing, and it attracted higher value clients, how would things be different and really set you on the course to your dream firm?
Well, Lauren, we're going to move forward, and the next thing we're going to look at is how to 3x your business. But before we do that, we have our next poll question. And this is, what's your response to unexpected challenges? It creates overwhelm and stress. I research my options, or I can adapt to maintain momentum. So once again, what's your response to unexpected challenges? It creates overwhelm and stress. Research my options, adapt to maintain. And then from Tatiana, what resources do you recommend to become better and more knowledgeable? And I lost the last part of that.
About advisory services.
Yes, about advisory services. Lauren, so that's one for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a great question, Tatiana. Actually, all questions are great questions. And what I would say is that you probably already have the knowledge that you need to get started. And you don't need permission from anybody to start doing this. You just need to really own it and know that you bring more value than you realize to the table. You were probably already doing it. So think about the questions that your clients ask you and that you answer on a regular basis. What are some of maybe foundational things that clients need to know to really understand their numbers that you're able to offer them, and helping them to get that insight and that better understanding and grasp about the numbers will be very helpful. Is it possible that there's things that you can do that would be future focused with them and that would help them make better decisions in their business based on the numbers that you can offer. So you already know more than you're giving yourself credit for. You do not need any more alphabets behind your name to give you, permission to do this with your clients. I am giving you permission. That is the first thing. Excuse me. The other thing is, that's something that I actually do with my clients, is we look at what are topics that your clients need that you feel comfortable meeting with them about and giving them insights or information in order for them to make better decisions within their business. So that is something. The other thing is that there is definitely some resources on my blog on how to be able to bring advisory services into your practice. And I believe that QuickBooks also has a course on how to get started with adding advisory services as well. So there's a lot of information. You might want to go to Intuit and put in get started with advisory services. That is a way to be able to get some insights on your own and get started. But I think that you can actually start now. You just have to make the decision to do it. And I'm going to go ahead and close the poll.
So our responses are: creates overwhelming stress is 36%. I research my options 45%, or I adapt to maintain momentum is 18%. And Lauren, before we get into the final section where you're going to talk about how to 3x your firm, I know you have something really special coming up. Why don't you talk about that?
Yep, I'm going to actually go to this page real quickly on my screen.
Okay.
But basically, this is the strategic planning retreat, and we are going to go back to rolling up our sleeves and how to 3x your firm. But just give me a couple minutes, because I am a champion for you. I want you to be able to 3x your firm, and it can happen sooner than later. And if anybody has had the insights or the experience of seeing it happen sooner than later once they actually started working it, please go ahead and just share that in the chat, because that will give somebody else encouragement that if you've done it, they can do it too. But basically, what we're looking at for the strategic planning retreat is clarifying your plan. The more specific you are, the more likely you are going to achieve what it is that you want for yourself. How to be able to focus on value instead of spreading yourself too thin, because there are some things that you do exceptionally well, and you are the answer to that client's problems. They just might not recognize it, or they aren't aware that you do this for them. And by doing this, focusing on value, it actually avoids burnout. And the other thing is, by really having well-paid clients who really value what you have to offer, it is a way to grow your bank account without feeling like a slave to your business, having something that is going to be very vanilla for you, or feeling like you're getting overwhelmed when this particular person reaches out to you and now you have to have a conversation with them. The other thing to look at, if you know that you're looking for different results, you want to lighten your workload, you really want people who are going to really be able to follow through. You want your fees to reflect your value, then this is absolutely for you. Right now, there's early bird tuition of $397 for this, but this is an investment, not a cost. By doing this, rolling up your sleeves, getting the insights, getting the action plan, and knowing your very first step when you leave the retreat is going to be something that makes this an investment. You will make back your money many, many times over. This will not be a cost. This is an investment. And the other thing to look at is, what are some of the things that would make a difference for you? Think about what it is that you want to achieve for your dream firm and where you are now. We're going to close the gap. I do not hold back. I give everything away that's going to make a difference for you. This is not fluff. This is really, let's get it done, give you clarity, get you excited, and give you a plan to move forward with. And the other thing that happens is, it's not just about one person, it is about all of us. We all have insights. And during this retreat, we are all lifting each other up. You might be getting ideas from other people as you're listening to them, and they are inspiring you to do something that you've been thinking about. It might be also that you make a connection, and through this strategic connection, you actually have a great new referral source that you wouldn't have had because there is a certain type of accounting professional that is willing to make an investment in themselves and realize the importance of not just working in their business, but on their business. And then there are some additional bonuses. You can go through the testimonials later, but some of the bonuses are, we are assessing where you are now. So you can see where you are and where you need to be, and I can help you with those specific things. There's some things you need to have in place in order to be able to have your dream firm. And that is one of the bonuses, is having that insight. And then there is the way to be able to 10x your vision of success, because I will let you know that 10xing your vision means it's very future focused, and there are some things that you need to do now to be able to put things in place to accommodate for where you're going, as opposed to making decisions from where you are now. You want to make decisions from where you want to be. And it's a little bit of a different way that allows you to get there faster than most people do. So if that resonates with you, the early bird tuition right now is $397. There are a limited number of spots available. I already have people enrolling into this. And I want to make sure that if you know what your dream firm is, you want to be able to achieve your numbers and beyond, then please go ahead and check this out and don't think about it any longer. Let's make it happen. So let me go back to what it is that we were focused on. And so Tatiana wanted to know, is retreat appropriate for someone that is about to start their own firm? Her last day is, in November. Congratulations. Absolutely, because we are coming up with your plans for 2022. If we are giving you the insights of what you need to focus on for 2022, you are going to be advancing. And I'm going to let you know, one of the mistakes that new firm owners make early on, because they need clients, they need cash flow, is they accept everyone. And I want to let you know that if you are not discriminating, you just take anybody, you're going to end up with some headache clients who will actually be holding you back because they take more time than what you expected. And they actually will be bigger headaches. They're going to stress you out, and they're going to take your eyes off your lane of where you want to be. But absolutely, congratulations. I am so excited for you, Tatiana. And this is something that will give you clarity. It will make it actually less scary and less overwhelming, because you're going to be really dialed in on what to focus on. Okay, Steve.
Well, yeah, as we move forward, as you move forward with your strategic plan, I know that there are some obstacles that are going to arise. Discuss 3 responses to unexpected challenges that they may face.
Well, I don't know about anybody here, but for me, I can plan, and it's never a linear plan. Success is messy. Mm-hmm. That is true for all of us. And it is not so much of how you show up when things are going well. It is about how you respond when something throws you off your game. And there are actually 3 responses when you run into that brick wall. And we've all run into the brick wall at some point. I've actually run into it on multiple occasions, trust me. But you're going to have one of 3 responses. You're going to either run into that brick wall and you are going to retreat, saying, this is not what I should be doing. I was not meant to be doing this. Who did I think I was? My family told me not to do this. Why didn't I listen to them? And you go back to something you were doing before. Maybe you go back to your old job, which wasn't very inspiring then, it wasn't very inspiring now, but because you caved in and you retreated because something didn't go as planned. The second response, once again, you run into that brick wall. And this time, what's going to happen is you step back, you say, I need to get my game plan together. I need to do more research and figure things out. And that is because you don't like taking risks. You don't like letting people down and disappointing them. You don't like making mistakes. And maybe you also have some fear of being called a fraud. And as a result of that, that really holds you back and you play a smaller game than what's possible. But once you go ahead and you do all your research and you think it through and you've minimized the risks, then you get back in the game and you move forward again. And then there's that third person, just like the retreater and the implementer, they run head on into that brick wall. And that person is going to be looking for any way around it, through it, under it, whatever is necessary to keep on going and maintaining momentum. That is because they realize that it takes more energy to have stops and starts than to keep on moving forward and maintaining momentum. And think about it. If you were on a plane and every time it was off course, it would go ahead and land at an airport and recalibrate its route and then get back up. That would be taking so much jet fuel, because the majority of jet fuel is taken when you start and you are go ahead and you're getting up to cruising altitude. So think about that for you. The person that is going to be looking to maintain momentum, they are an implementer. They recalibrate, they adjust, but they keep on moving forward because their vision, their eyes are on the prize, which is your dream firm. And they know that there are others behind them that want to take that spot, and they don't want that to happen. They don't want to give up their momentum. So the other part to realize is that there might be some things in your life where we are all retreaters, or where we are all going to be looking at going ahead and refiguring things out and planning what's going on. And then there's times in life where you were not willing to take a no. You were not willing to let an obstacle get in your way of what it was that you wanted to do. And you were moving forward despite the odds being against you and pressure from the outside telling you, who do you think you are? I know that there was a point in your life when that happened. Dig down and find that. And that is what we need for you to be an implementer, to be able to achieve your dream firm and do what everybody else might be telling you is foolish, and why would you want to take those risks? So we all hit the brick road. We've all had an experience where we were not willing to let obstacles stand in our way or take no as a reason to just retreat. And I want you to think about that. And that is what I want you to connect with. That is your why, that's your vision. That is about, I have a dream, planting your flag on the moon and being the first one to do that. So Lori said, what a nugget. I needed to hear that it takes more energy to stop and start instead of just pushing through. Thank you, Lori, for affirming it, because even if you got that one thing, that is going to make a difference.
Well, Lauren, as you mentioned, success is really messy. And building a dream firm can really feel complicated and difficult. What helps to make it easier rather than harder?
Well, I want you to realize that as business owners, we tend to be shouldering the burden. Everything as far as the headaches tend to land on our plate, and we are the one expected to fix it, especially in the beginning when we first started out and we fulfilled all the roles. We were doing it all ourselves. We shouldered everything. And in order to grow, sometimes you realize you can't do it all yourself. Whether that is having contract employees, having a community of support, or possibly having employees within, you can't get to where you want to be necessarily on your own. That's true for me also. And I want you to think about Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra does not move his own piano. Frank Sinatra has a team that goes ahead and his manager books him. He has roadies that break down the set. They get it on the truck. They drive it to the next venue. They set it up. And Frank Sinatra gets to be the talent. He gets to show up. He croons to his audience. And he gets the big bucks because he is the talent. But he has a whole team supporting him because he realizes that he cannot go ahead and move his own piano and do it all himself. And that is true for you too. You cannot go ahead and do it all yourself. So think about who is on your team and who is on that A list. So thinking about the A list is there's two ways to look at this. There's the goose who laid the golden eggs, and then there are the golden eggs. The goose who laid the golden eggs is the people that are in your community, in your network. Maybe they work with a similar client base as you do, and you can refer back and forth to each other. Maybe they are people who know who your ideal client is and are making connections for you, or possibly they are aware of an opportunity for you to show up and for you to be seen as the talent. And they are able to put together an audience of your ideal clients for you or make connections. So you want to think about who that golden goose is that will help you to advance towards your dream firm. And the golden eggs are your ideal dream clients. Who are those A and B clients who absolutely love you? They value you. They are not price sensitive. They follow through. They respond to you. The ones, if you can clone that particular type of client, and that's the only type of client you worked with all day, every day, you would be having a dream firm. So once again, the goose that laid the golden egg is the people that will open doors for you. And the golden egg are the people who you are working with directly. So who is on your A team? It is going to be your staff. And it's not always all of your staff. Be really, really clear who believes in you, who has your back. You want takers. You want people who will take work and lighten your workload. They are ready to take things off of your plate because they really believe in you, your mission, and what you're doing. You want referral partners, people who know who your clients are and are willing to really connect and refer them to you, or you refer back and forth. Your network. I know that my networks are here in the audience today. They are out there in the community. They are not a best kept secret hiding behind their computer. Even if you're an introvert, you still benefit from a network. Otherwise, your phone gets silent and nobody's calling you. Maybe you need a business coach to be able to help you to move forward and get out of your own way and do the things that you were just thinking about, or raising your rates when you don't think that you could possibly do that because your clients are going to leave you. So who's going to be that to be able to help challenge you to step out of your comfort zone? Think about accountability partners. Who is it that maybe you are meeting with on a regular basis and you're promising, I'm going to be doing this by Monday, and you're checking in, and you know if you have an accountability partner, you're more likely to actually do that than when you're just accountable to yourself. And once again, your community. How are you going to make a difference in your community and lift them up as you lift yourself up? Or who in your community is making a difference for you and they are lifting you up as they lift themselves up too? So think about that. You're not a silo unto yourself. You have a community. And the more that you're strategic about who they are and how they can help, as well as how you can help them, the closer you are to getting your dream firm.
Lauren, do you have any advice for maintaining momentum through the ups and downs?
Absolutely. And I know that we're almost at the top of the hour. Please hang in there. I just have a little bit left. But the rule of threes. This is going to be part of that 10X plan. That's one of the bonuses in the strategic planning retreat that I'm going to absolutely go into in more detail. But this is the way to 10X your firm and have your dream firm. You want to become aware of what it is you need to let go of. That is the very first thing, what it is that you need to let go of and what it is that you want to put more of your eyes on and pay attention to. So every 3 months, that's the first three, every 3 months, I want you to carve out time to look at what are 3 things that are not moving you forward, that are not efficient, that feel like a drag, punishment, and that you are ready to let go of. All you need to look at is 3 things you are no longer willing to tolerate and to let go of. They might be people. They might be places. So if you network too many places and you need to go on a networking diet, they might be services that you're offering. Maybe it's a mindset thing you have to let go of. So think about what are 3 things you want to let go of when you're looking at your strategic plan and reviewing it. And then the other thing you want to look at is 3 things you want to focus more of your attention on that is really going to move the needle forward so that you can hit your dream firm sooner than later. So the rule of threes is every 3 months, you're letting go of 3 things and you're putting your attention on 3 things. And that is the way to be able to really achieve your dream firm sooner than later. And this is exactly what happened to Rihanna. Basically, in the beginning, Rihanna's a people pleaser. I know I have some of my people pleasers here who are shaking their heads. They say yes to everything that a client asking you to do, even if it's not within your lane, you are saying yes to it because you don't want to disappoint them. You are scared that if you say no, they will leave you. And also you are saying yes to anybody willing to pay your fees. As a result of that, Leanna was working much too much. In the evenings, she would put her kids to bed and then go back to her computer to do some more client work because she was just spread too thin. It was not very efficient and it wasn't very effective either. But one of the things that we did as we looked at being more effective and her getting back some of her personal time is we came up with her packages and we carved this out together. And it's not a long drawn out process when I do this with my clients. We did this in one session where we really dialed in on, we really dialed in on who she works with, what she does for them, and the value of it. And by doing that, we came up with her silver, her gold, and her platinum packages because she was no longer charging by the hour. She was based on value and really leading with the value of what she offers and the difference that she makes for her clients. Her particular niche was restaurants because that's where her accounting experience was working in the restaurant industry. So her niche was restaurants. She knew them on both sides of the table as far as the financials go. And I am sharing this with you for inspiration of what it is that you can do, put together too. Please do not copy it, but just use it for inspiration of what having a package would look like that you can offer your clients also. So you're no longer charging by the hour. You're focusing on what is valuable to them instead of your time and your costs. And Lane said, I thought you even said, if it's not within you, Lane, I know who you're talking to. So thank you, Lane. Lane, I know that you've got this dialed in and what a difference you have made in the course of a year as well. But, and Lane, if there was anything that you wanted to share, are you uncomfortable? I know you love public speaking. Do you have a moment to unmute yourself and maybe share what you've seen happen on your journey once you got more strategic about what you're doing with your firm and where you're going? This was not planned. I know I'm calling you out, but if you're open to it, Lane, we'd love for you to just share a little bit about what the experience has been for you.
Absolutely. Just so you know, I'm on hold with the IRS, so if they pick it up, I'll have to cut myself short. But
that's fine.
So yes, I was definitely full service means whenever you call me, I'll pick up. Whatever you ask me to do, I'll do. Even if I've never done it before, I'll spend 3 hours to research and figure out what it is so that I can do it for you, and then probably undercharge you because I'm codependent and I love my clients too much. So since I have formed my packages and I use them as a guideline to pre-screen my clients, I do diagnostics, so I get to know a client before I even enter into a monthly program, and I get an idea of whether there's someone I even want to work with. I have a much more streamlined and lucrative firm, and I'm also of more service to my clients because I'm not running around doing all kinds of things that I don't really have any business doing. So
and Lane, one of the things I want to ask you is, okay, I know that these things we're talking about obviously can make a difference in how you work in your firm, but how has been the impact outside of work?
Oh, it's been amazing. My first year working with Lauren, I paid off all of my credit cards, my car, and I bought a house. You know, I have worked with many business coaches before, and those were my pie in the sky goals that I set out ahead of time. Speaking of goals that I never really believed I could achieve, and by working with Lauren, I've achieved all of them so naturally, really just in the course of changing the way I think about my service, thinking about changing the way I think about the value that we provide to clients, and changing the way that I interact with clients. Yeah.
Lane, I so appreciate you letting me call you out. This was not planned or scripted between the two of us. So Appreciate that. And I hope that you are next to be picked up by the IRS for that phone call.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And so Lori said she currently offers flat rate pricing. She loves this option of offering packages because this would give clients a feeling of control when the price is increased by their needs. Actually, that's one of the things I do with all my clients, Lori, is I show all my clients how to go ahead and get their old clients, even the ones you've never had a price increase with, up to your new rates without losing them. So this absolutely makes a difference. It is golden. And I just want to say, for anybody that's been listening, paying attention, don't take my word for it of how this makes a difference. You heard it from Lane of how this made a difference, not just where she now has her dream firm, but she got back her life, and her quality of life has risen more than she ever expected. So Steve, go ahead and take it from there.
Okay, so what we covered today was your number one dream firm secret, unleashing your potential, and how to 3x your business. And so Lauren, you really shared a lot today. And now I think that they're really ready to get started, but I think that there's some out there that are ready to get this done, but they don't want to have to figure this out on their own. What do you recommend for our listeners who are ready to make 2022 their best year ever?
Well, actually, I'm going to recommend that you sign up now. Don't think about it. Don't put it off, because things get in the way, and the best plans, sometimes you never follow through with them because something happens all of a sudden that was unexpected. And even though you meant to get back to it, you never do. You move on. So if this is something that resonates with you, you really are ready for this, you're chomping at the bit to really be on course for growing your dream firm. You have a dream. You want to be the one to plant that flag on the moon and really claim that this is mine, I've done it. Then please go to businesssuccesssolution.com/retreat and get signed up right now. If you feel you have any questions that you want to have answered about it, anything that would be of value to be able to help you make that decision, then you can go to the link in right here, the businesssuccesssolution.com/let's talk. I am happy to answer your questions on how to be able to get out of your own way, any clarity that you might need, so you can make a decision that is in your best interest, because I fully believe that you are the best investment you can make in your business. And when you lift yourself up and really connect with your value, then you are taking a community of people up the ladder with you. It just flows. So once again, thank you so much for joining me and taking time away from working in your business to work on your business. It is an advanced move. Just take one insight from today and go ahead and dial it in, and go to businesssuccesssolution.com/retreat and sign up. It is a roll up our sleeves. I will get my hands on your business, and we will carve out your plans so you can make 2022 your best year ever. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.